and today I am with very special guest, my friend Aaron Chow from University of New Brunswick. So who's visiting our office, our head office in Mohali. So first of all, I would like to welcome you, Aaron,
Thank
to
you
our
very much.
office, and I think it will be really important for students to get first-hand information from you. So I would like to tell you that Aaron is manager operations and business development for international recruitment. So some important information coming from Aaron will be really useful for students who are looking forward to applying to a university, and especially a university in an Atlantic province. So, Aaron, I want you to explain us more about University of New Brunswick. I think it has very important history.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me today. Hi, everyone. My name is 𝐤𝐴𝐺𝐷. I'm from the University of New Brunswick. So the University of New Brunswick is the oldest English-speaking university in Canada. And the university is located in the province of New Brunswick on the east coast. So we are facing the Atlantic Ocean. UNB has a very long history. So we started back in 1785. This year we have about 237 years old history, very rich history, strong academic programming is definitely very a strong point for UNB. And UNB has two campuses. One is in the capital city of the province, it's called Fredericton, and then we have another campus in the port city called St. John. So we have a total population, student population about 10,000. In Fredericton is our main campus. We have about 8,000 students, and in St. John campus we have about 2,000 full-time students.
So it's a big campus, huh?
Yeah, it is relatively big, but we still consider our small university. We're trying to grow a little bit. Our international student population is about 17%.
Oh.
At the moment, but we have the mandate to grow it a little bit higher to 20-25% perhaps in the next few years. But international student ratio is very healthy. 17% is where we are at. And diversity is very good. We have over 100 countries and regions represented by our international student population. So very good.
So student is going to get a real-time international exposure if
Exactly.
he goes to University of New Brunswick.
Exactly. We have students come to our campus just trying to enjoy the Canadian education environment. At the same time, they are making friends with people, with students from every other countries, learn the culture and enjoy making new friends.
Yeah, that's great. So if you're looking for true Canadian experience and for a beautiful campus, because I visited New Brunswick and I find it really peaceful and beautiful. So Aaron, the most important thing is which intake a student can apply if he wants to come to your university.
Perfect. That's a great question. So at University of New Brunswick, UNB, we have three intakes across the cycle. So September is the biggest intake. All the program could start in September. And then we'll have the second biggest intake in January. So most our undergraduate program can start in January as well. We have a relevant smaller intake in May for student interested in business and arts programs. You can start in May intake as well with us.
So right now you're accepting applications for January?
That's correct. So right now our application portal is still open for January of 23, May of 23, and then September of 2023.
So what is the deadline to apply for January?
So there's really not a sharp deadline. We call it a rolling deadline. It's always first come, first serve until the program is full.
So when students are coming to university, whenever a student comes to me,
Yeah.
I have experienced that I wants to go to college, and college is more affordable than university. But I always explain them that universities are also affordable. So what do you want to tell students that I think UNB is very affordable university?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. At UNB, we have a very competitive tuition. So for current year, all the undergraduate programs will have tuition anywhere between 19 to 21,000, depending on different program. They are slightly different. And I also want to mention about living costs as well, because New Brunswick have a 30% lower living cost than other cities and areas in Canada. Affordable tuition, good academic programs, and very affordable living costs as well makes a very good selection for some of the students. Speaking of cost, I also want to mention about our scholarship offering as well. UNB offers a very good scholarship opportunities for international students. We awarded 10.2 million Canadian dollars last year for undergraduate scholarships. And our data shows 68% of our international student get scholarship. So please apply for scholarship because you do need to apply for it. It's a very simple application for scholarship, but you do need to apply for it to get it. We introduced a big scholarship earlier this year. It's called 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞𝐞 scholarship. It is a $40,000 scholarship for one single recipient.
And you told me that one of an Indian student got it.
That's right. So our third recipient actually is from India, a very bright student, and she is right on our campus right now. So we will do interview, some photo shot. Once available, I will share with everybody.
Definitely. So students, it's a huge amount, 10.2 million in scholarships last year. If you have good academics, you can also apply for scholarship. So I think so it's becoming a great destination, lower living cost because New Brunswick is quite affordable, and then tuition fees is also affordable. I know there are colleges right now charging $22,000 per year. So where the university is charging between 19 to 21 is quite affordable, and you will have a better chance of getting a good job if you will do your bachelor degree instead of a diploma. So students really forget about this, that they are going to do a diploma and the kind of a job they're going to get is based on the diploma they did. And if they do a bachelor, there are relatively higher chances of getting a good job. So what is like students, are really, always thinking we're going to a new province. Once when I was traveling to New Brunswick, same thing came to my mind also. So how it's going to be? It's going to be like a village or something like that. But I know I have traveled much Canada. I've seen all the cities in Canada. I know Canada is very, very developed. But some students think, no, that's a small place. I don't want to go to that place. So what kind of international student support is there? And I know it's a really great experience if student comes there.
Right, I think you are right. So a few years ago, I was also an international student looking for study selections, and I choose UNB, and for a few reasons.
Yeah.
Of course, I came from China originally, a large city, 13 million population in a city. It's a lot of people. Very similar in India, also. Yeah, also large population. But I find New Brunswick is a very good place to study. The environment is really quiet, and the atmosphere is very supportive, very welcoming. And if you happen to go to New Brunswick, you will feel people there are very welcoming.
Very helpful.
They say hi, and they smile to each other on the road, even with strangers. So that's a very highlight about for new student, you're a little bit concerned about where I'm going to. Of course, New Brunswick, I think it's we need a little bit more branding and marketing. Not so many people know us, but overall, I think could be a very positive study experience. Plus, we have a very supportive community as well beside the university community. Of course, we have university support team as well, offer international student all kinds of support, but the community is very supportive. We have newcomer centers, we have all the other organizations help international students to find a job and then to settle down in the area, which is a very good add-on feature in that area. So yes, the province of New Brunswick is smaller province. It's on the east coast. The whole population for the province is only a little bit shy of 800,000. So for the two cities where our campus located, Fredericton and St. John, population is quite similar. It's somewhere around 110, 120,000 people in each city. And it's small, but it's not like a very or anything. I think the infrastructure is very well developed in Canada. We have all kinds of shops, supermarkets, hospital, and in a matter of fact, the regional hospital, which is the largest hospital in the province, is just located beside our St. John campus.
Oh.
So very good support services there too.
That's great. So there are a lot of good support services. The city is not that small because 110,000 population is big for Canada, because there are cities in Canada with population of 4,000
Yeah,
also.
that's right.
So if yes, and then I can tell you that also the cities with 4,000 population will have full facilities. Like you will not have like you have come to a very small place. They will also give you full facility.
Right.
So 110,000 is a good population, and the city are very beautiful, also well maintained, and you will not feel lonely because people are really helpful in New Brunswick. So what is the scenario? You know, when an international student from India goes, he really is interested in doing part-time jobs.
Yeah.
So what is the scenario for part-time jobs? I know there is a crunch of labor in right now in all globally. It's
That's
crunch,
right. That's right.
And what's like scenario in New Brunswick? Same story.
Yeah, pretty very similar. Globally, of course, labor shortage, and in Canada, of course, it's a huge labor shortage as well. Particularly on the east coast, in the province of New Brunswick. If we're looking back 10-15 years, we have a very flat population growth, very flat, sometimes even declining, because we don't have enough well-educated people to fill in those jobs. I've seen a lot of international students doing part-time job, entry-level job in coffee shops, McDonald's, for example. But I think this is a very good start point, and then it will help them to accumulate the experience and in the workplace culture, for example, and start to build up their network. And as you may know, study permit holders cannot work up to 20 hours per week during academic semesters, and student can work full-time.
Full-time during holidays, yeah.
Right.
So I know students are calling me from Canada and they're saying we are having 3 jobs right away.
Yeah.
And we are about to choose where to work,
Yep.
So this is the scenario in Canada. So students, I'll tell you, there's a lot of jobs in Canada right now. Not in Canada, globally there are a lot of jobs. You should have the capability, you should have the skills to get those. So something like students are interested in what kind of programs? It's an old university. I think all the streams must be offered.
Yes, that's very true. So the University of New Brunswick is one of the best comprehensive universities. So that means we have different programs. So in total, we have over 100 different programs for students to choose from. And on the undergraduate level, we have about 75 plus programs for students to choose from. A lot of selections and programs are quite flexible. We cover almost all the popular programs for international students. Engineering programs, computer science program is another very popular one. Health-related program, we have the Bachelor of Health program, which is very popular as well. And of course, we have the business program as well. So in the matter of fact, we have business faculties on each campus, both St. John and Fredericton, and both of the faculties are AA CSB accredited institutions. So only 6% of the business schools over the globe have that accreditation, which is a huge step and a huge recognition for us.
What about BSc Nursing? Are you offering BSc Nursing?
Yes, that's right. We also have the Bachelor of Nursing program available as well. Very competitive program, I have to say, because nursing program is very popular right now.
So right now, nursing is closed for January, I think so.
Right. So nursing program is very special because we only have a very limited seats. So that program only opens in September and have a very early application deadline, which is February the 15th of each year.
So till 15th, students have to offer for. What about the master's program?
We also have master's program available. We have most of the master programs start in September intake and once a year. Program covers anywhere from business to engineering to computer science. We'll have relevant master's program as
So
well.
what is the turnaround time for masters? I know undergraduate is relatively less.
Right.
So for masters, I know the professors or the teachers assess more, right?
That's very true. So as all the other public universities in Canada, the graduate programs, masters, PhDs, are managed by the School of Graduate Studies. So the admission process is quite different than the undergraduate programs. So and part of the master's or PhD's application involved in the reference process. So we usually ask 3 references from your academic background or professional career background. Sometimes though, getting those references back could take time.
It's time.
Right. So it's really hard to say. I think maybe a few months, could be a little bit shorter than that, but it's really hard to tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but there is a possibility.
For a master's,
Yeah.
For the period of processing, I think maybe we're talking about maybe a couple months. I think that's quite reasonable. It also depends on how soon you can get
So
reference.
what about the MBA program? So do you student needs a GMAT?
Yes, so we have 2 different MBA programs. One is a 12 months accelerated program. It's a very unique program located on UNB St. John campus. It's only 1 year. And then we have a 20 months long MBA program. It's located in the Fredericton campus. Both programs require GMAT.
So how a student can get waiver? Like there were some waivers for the students,
Right.
Like if they have a 5 years experience or something like that.
Right. It's really a case by case scenario. So you have to request that GMAT waiver first from the faculty to have a quick review. So usually it's a combination of academics plus work experience. So we're looking at a certain GPA and then plus some professional experience as well.
There's a possibility.
It is possible, yes.
So students, if you don't have GMAT and you have a 5 years experience plus your academics are good, then we can push for an MBA program. Other master's program will take little time, few months to get you an offer letter. But I think the really important thing is the undergraduate programs where the offer letter turnaround time is relatively short.
Right. So for undergraduate program, as soon as we have the online application and all the support required documents, usually it takes about 2 weeks for a decision.
And what is the application fees?
So application fee is $125 for international students.
That's great. So being in New Brunswick, the students are really interested. It's an Atlantic province. So what kind of PR opportunities? Like if a student does a bachelor degree program with UNB, then how soon he can get the PR?
Right. So as one of the public institutions in Canada, UNB have all the degree programs are eligible for a post-graduation work permit.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get a degree and successful graduate from UNB, you may be eligible for a up to 3-year open work permit called post-graduation work permit. Yeah. The length of the permit will depend on the length of your program. But for undergraduate student, you take a 4-year undergraduate degree, you pretty sure you get a 3-year open work permit. Then you can work with anybody in Canada. There's no limitation on the work permit geographically, but we highly recommend you find a job in New Brunswick because the province has a very good and friendly immigration policies and programs for international graduate. We have all the federal programs available, of course, and then we have the provincial nominee program, provincial nominee and their express entry program, and also we have the Atlantic immigration program as well. So just a little bit more selection programs available. Plus, because we need a lot more people, so the province is doing their very best to develop a program to support international graduate and help them to stay in the province to fill in those job vacancies. So that's why we have a very friendly immigration policy and very good support from the government as well.
That's great. Like students, Atlantic province are going to be easier than other provinces always. So any advice, Aaron, to students who are looking forward to studying in Canada?
There are actually a few advices, I think. So the first one is if you're interested in the University of New Brunswick, please apply and apply early. Because certain popular programs, because their popularity and competitive, and they may be full very, very quickly. So apply and apply early and confirm if you're accepted and you secure a seat. And secondly, apply for scholarship. I encourage every single applicant student apply for scholarship because our scholarship opportunity is just very good, excellent for international student. And then I also encourage students to connect with the university community before you start the journey, especially connect with our faculties and the international student advising office. Who are doing all the support work, organize orientation and pre-departure sessions for our international students, and you may be beneficial from those sessions and better prepared before you even start your trip. They give tips about everything, housing, for example, if you don't, yeah, if accommodation, if you decide to live off campus. By the way, we have on-campus residents available as well. And then they give advice about the trips, all the documents you will need to go through the immigration section at the airport when you landed, and also they give suggestions about the health related restrictions and limitations and what you should pay attention and what you should prepare before your trip, which will be very helpful.
That's a great piece of information for students, and it's really great to have you in our office, Aaron. And I'm really, really positive that this information will help a lot of students. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.